The second that your prospect gets on a sales call, they are judging you, and you've got about 90 seconds to actually earn their respect. Otherwise, you're gonna get lumped in with all of the other terrible salespeople out there. And so if you're immediately jumping into setting an agenda or you're making small talk about the weather, both of those things scream to your prospect, I'm a salesperson, and you don't wanna have that happen. And so today, I'm gonna talk about the thing you should be doing before you even get into setting an agenda that can help get your prospect to say, oh, this person is worth chatting with. A lot of salespeople screw up that first 90 seconds because they think, okay, I gotta connect with this prospect, let me make small talk about the weather or sports, and that just screams, oh, I wanna chum it up with you so I can try to sell you something. And the salespeople who know not to do that often over-rotate into immediately getting down to business and setting a very firm agenda. And that's also something that screams, I'm a salesperson. And you don't wanna scream or be perceived by the prospect as a typical salesperson. You wanna break that pattern. And so instead what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make small talk about something that's happening in their world or has happened in their world related to the problem that I solve. And so the way that I do this is step one, before the meeting, I've gotta find something that's going on with them related to what I solve. So if I sell event planning software, I wanna see, have they had a big user conference recently or did they throw a regional event? If I sell payroll processing software, I'm looking, have they opened a new office recently? Do they have job postings? Are they hiring and growing? When I sell 30 Minutes to President's Club advertising sponsorships, I'm looking for, hey, have they released a new product recently, or is there new messaging that they just released? Because they're probably gonna wanna promote that. And so I'm trying to find a trigger that's going on in their world that I'm actually gonna talk about in the beginning of the meeting, which brings me to step two, which is talk about that thing in the beginning of the meeting. And the way that you say it is, hey, it's nice to meet you. And then you say, hey, before we get into things, when I was preparing for this, I saw you guys just had a big user conference a couple weeks ago. What was that like? That must have been a big deal. And then, based on how they respond, I'm gonna go a couple different ways. If they start talking about that thing that I brought up and they go, oh man, you wouldn't believe, it was crazy, it's really important to us, we brought a ton of different customers to the conference. Okay, I'm gonna ask them some questions and start running some discovery on that topic. And I'm gonna ask them questions that are related to the thing that I solve. Now, the other direction things might go is they might be lukewarm about it and they're like, oh yeah, I wasn't really involved in that. I don't really touch those things. Okay, now I know when we get into the rest of the discovery call, I'm not going to ask them questions around that element of the things that I solve. And this is so powerful because not only do I get to run some free discovery, I immediately get a sense for, hey, what's this person's personality and style like? I show them that, hey, I'm not gonna waste a ton of your time talking about things like the weather or sports that are totally unrelated to your world. And I've proved to them also, I did a little bit of prep for this thing. I looked up, you guys had a user conference. I'm not that salesperson that just shows up and says, ooh, tell me about your business. So it's a win-win-win. Once I've done this piece and I've sort of exhausted the small talk about their user conference, then I can transition into my agenda. And you might just say something like, gosh, I'm sure you and I could talk about user conferences for hours and hours and hours, but I know that's not why we came here. You wanna get started? And that's how you can transition out of your small talk into the actual meeting. So that's it. That's how you should be kicking off all of your sales meetings instead of your weather, sports, or stiff agenda. Thank you for watching this video, folks. If you liked this video, we've got a bunch more in this discovery series that should help you with those first couple meetings that you have with a prospect. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.